WWE reported better than expected results earlier this week amid the investigation of former CEO Vince McMahon's unrecorded company expenses and a return to live events that helped boost revenue sharply. But what now? What's next for the media company following McMahon's departure? Lightshed Partners media and technology analyst Brandon Ross joined us now to discuss. So obviously, what's going on currently at the company has sort of been overshadowed by this succession of McMahon and all that's been going on with McMahon. So do you think that that is something that is going to hold the company back in the short term?
No, I don't think it'll hold the company back at all. I think that the company has had a succession plan in place for a very long time. They have a management team in place that they are very confident in, and frankly, we are too, with Stephanie and Nick as co-CEOs, and Frank, who's frankly, no pun intended, one of the better CFOs in the business. I think in terms of their relationships with their licensing partners and sponsorship partners, as soon as Vince was removed from the equation, the pressure there actually eased.
Brandon, there's a lot of big personalities in that room. How does Nick spend his time, and how does Stephanie spend her time? How does that co-CEO structure work? Yeah,
so the co-CEO thing is a little bit unusual. It's something that WWE has done in the past with co-presidents, with Michelle Wilson and George Barrios. And what you'll see is Stephanie is going to be in charge of everything that has to do with the branding and image of the company, and a lot of stuff on the operations side, whereas Nick's main role is going to be revenue. And integral to revenue is cutting deals with third parties, whether it's the licensing deals for Raw or SmackDown, or their pay-per-view events, which are in the United States largely NBC. Universal is their biggest partner. They also have a relationship with Fox. And if you go back to Nick's history, he came out of the agency business. So that is his strength, and that is what is going to be the source of most of their profitability going forward.
I guess I got to come back to the Vince thing for just a second, Brandon, because here we have, I mean, this is a years-long pattern of behavior and of abuse of company funds, et cetera, et cetera. Like, how is this not a bigger deal for investors, I guess? Yes, they've removed him, but he's still the majority shareholder, and he's still, you know, his name is so intrinsic to this company's identity.
No, it absolutely is. And I think counterintuitively, what the way investors have looked at this is because of what you're talking about. There are investors who have come in thinking that this is the point at which the company is going to finally get sold. And there's clearly no shortage of potential buyers for this asset as media companies and platforms look for owned content, especially live content. Do we believe that it's true that this business is going to get sold? Probably not in the near term. We think that Stephanie and Paul and Nick really want to run this business, and it's important to, especially Stephanie, to continue the legacy of her father and maybe put her own imprint on the business. So we don't think it's actually going to get sold, but what we do think is that there's operational improvements that might come out of this. And you talked about the way Vince ran the business, and one of the areas that is now ripe for opportunity is the fact that the corporate expense number was very, very high under his leadership. And I think that's potentially an area that the new leadership will look to attack and whittle down and unlock some additional profitability in the business.
Brandon, you mentioned that Stephanie may want to put her own stamp on the business. Will that include changes to the programming to where they go back to the Attitude Era, you know, bring back a little blood, bring back a little pain, bring back a more aggressive program to compete with the likes of other competitors that we are seeing out there. I guess just bring it back to our generation. We might be around the same age.
Yeah, I think we are probably about the same age. I heard you kind of in the earlier segment talking about Ameritrade or whatever it was. I think what you'll see is an in-between. I don't think we're going all the way back to the Attitude Era, but clearly the new head of creative, Paul Levesque, a.k.a. Triple H, is from an era where that resonated. I think that fans have been clamoring to get more back towards more technical wrestling, a little bit more, of the blood, I think, that you said. So I think you'll move a little more in that direction. There will be other changes. The mid-card will probably be elevated a little bit. So that's an opportunity that fans are excited about. And generally, if fans are excited, in the media industry, it's all about eyeballs. That means investors should be excited too.
Brandon, real quick, how weird was it to hear Triple H on an earnings call? Come on, it was weird.
I had to ask him a question because, it was just getting Triple H to speak on an earnings call. But all kidding aside, I think that change in creative is going to be extremely positive for the company.
The key question for Brian Sozzi is, in the competition between She-Hulk and Wrestling Now, which is going to win the contest for his eyeballs? I don't know about you, Brandon. This guy's super excited about She-Hulk some reason.
Big fan. She-Hulk, Hulk Hogan, all the Hulks. Whatever Hulks you got.
I'm not looking forward to watching She-Hulk personally. No offense to.
All right, I'm going to bring it back onto the rails now. I blame myself for bringing up She-Hulk once again. Brandon Ross, it's great to catch up with you. Hope to see you again soon.
Thank you so much.
Media and technology analyst at Lightshed Partners.